Hello and welcome to another episode of CTS Biz Talk. I'm your host, Frank Stevens, and thanks for joining us. I promise not to get too political at all on today's podcast, but today's topic is tariffs and the impact that they may have on your technology costs. One of the items that President Trump pushed during his political campaign was introducing tariffs to create a more fair and balanced trade deals with other countries. Another stated benefit of tariffs is to persuade companies to bring manufacturing jobs to the United States. Even if that does happen, it could take years to build the infrastructure and actually produce and create the products. Again, I'm not going to discuss politics or share any of my personal beliefs, but in the last 30 days, the United States did place increased tariffs on key countries that directly impact the technology sector. In case you weren't aware, the vast majority of technology hardware is manufactured outside the United States. Even for items that may be assembled in the United States, there's still major components, such as semiconductors that are created overseas and then shipped here. So the specific components may be subject to increased tariffs, and those could range from 10% all the way up to 100% of increases. The good news is that tariffs do not directly impact software or SaaS subscriptions. What I mean by directly is that the tariffs may impact the cost of business to those vendors, and they may increase or decide to increase their prices to offset their increased costs. But we've not seen anything like that yet. Tariffs have been currently assigned to many countries such as Mexico, Canada, Germany, Singapore, the Netherlands, Taiwan, where a lot of the semiconductors are being created, and then the largest manufacturer of all hardware, China. In the past couple of months, I've been having discussions with clients on how these tariffs might impact the cost of purchasing technology for their organizations. These purchases can range from new servers, scheduled upgrades for computers and laptops, smartphones or tablets for the remote workers and sales team, or even new hardware setups for new employees, which would include a typical laptop with a docking station or a computer, dual monitors, and a VoIP phone. A typical setup like that before the tariffs would run anywhere between $1,500 and $1,800. But with today's prices, they're approaching like $2,500 to $2,600. So assuming that the tariffs are here to stay for a while and you still need to make technology purchases, here are some recommendations that I've been sharing with clients and having those conversations to mitigate those increased costs. The first is the simple one: postpone the purchases until the dust settles, the tariffs are reduced or removed. So unless it's something that you need to purchase immediately, such a failed server or something that's more catastrophic and its impact to the business is significant, you may be able to delay some of those by a month or two. And that could lead to savings. Most of our clients are in hardware life cycles, approximately 3 years for laptops, 4 or 5 years for desktops, 5 or 6 years for servers. So if it extended another year, that might produce some savings for you. The second thing that we discuss with our clients is don't purchase your hardware brand new. We've been practicing this actually for a while with our clients because you can still get quality used hardware that's refurbished, especially in the server world. So when you've got these Fortune 100 companies, they'll typically keep a great looking HP or Dell server, and it'll come off of a 3-year lease, and you can get significant savings. So tariffs are only applicable to new products being shipped into the country. So if you purchase a new HPE server coming off of a 1 or 2 year lease, or refurbished Lenovo X1 Carbon for a sales worker or a remote salesperson, then there wouldn't be any tariffs on those items. But please note, what we're seeing is because the used products or refurbished products don't have any tariffs, this is starting to drive up the prices of those secondhand pieces of hardware. Now, this third item, and I preface this one with the fact that I'm a huge fan of standardization, meaning that I always try to work with our clients to get an organization to create a standard for their hardware needs, meaning that if you want Dell laptops and computers and be a Dell shop, then I say go for it. We are truly hardware and software agnostic. But if you want to select Lenovo, then I would encourage you for your laptops, standardize and go with Lenovo. I can probably talk hours on benefits of hardware standardization, but I'll save that for another podcast or probably a full webinar. That being said, if tariffs are causing you to hold off on a much needed purchase, then maybe you look to purchase from another hardware vendor, even though it goes outside your standardization. That might lead to lower tariffs on their products based on where the hardware is actually manufactured. So hopefully you guys have found some of these tips to be helpful. Thanks again for joining me. And if you enjoyed this podcast and gained just a tad bit of knowledge, I encourage you all to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you much, and talk to you guys soon. Take care.